What is Python and why we should learn it? If you take a look at the ranking of the best programming language in 2022, you will definitely come across such a ranking. As you can see, Python tops the list of programming language of this year. So, what is Python and what makes it so popular? If you are interested to know, stay with me until the end of this video. Before we continue, please take 5 seconds to subscribe my channel. Alright, let's start with a basic question. What is Python? Python is one of the most powerful and widely used programming language in the world. Python is a high-level, object-oriented, and open-source programming language that can be applied to many different classes of problems. This is not just a program for software developers. People use Python for different tasks. Here is some examples: web frameworks and applications, data science and data analysis, artificial intelligence and machine learning, scientific computing, and many other cases. Python's footprint can be seen in many technologies, for instance, web programming, mobile programming, building an application, or even game development. There are many large projects that use this powerful language. The world's biggest online photo sharing app, Instagram, uses Python on its backend. Python contributes 21% of Facebook Foundation. However, 21% in a social media giant means millions of lines and codes and thousands of libraries. Python is recognized as an official language at Google. Dropbox's servers and client applications are coded using Python. These are just a few of the big projects supported by Python. The use of Python is not limited to big corporations. Many companies use Python in their industry. But why? The main reason is Python supports many language programming models, like object orientation and functional programming. You can write a script and implement the logic and operations required for the game and use the features of this powerful language, such as artificial intelligence and data analysis, like many big game studios. For example, Battlefield 2 uses Python for all of its add-ons and a lot of its functionalities. Another topic that gets a lot of attention today is modularity. Projects written using Python can be designed in a modular style. This means that your code can be easily reused in other projects. Alright, now let's find out where Python came from. Guido van Rossum, over 20 years ago, invented this Python language that we have grown to know and love. Some people think, because of its name and logo, it must have something to do with the snake. Turns out, that is not at all why Python was named Python. It turns out that what Python was named for was Monty Python's Flying Circus. And the reason was that Guido was trying to capture an era of play. Most programming languages in the 80s, when Python started, were very serious and very complex, and you had to be really serious to figure them out. A lot of math geniuses and Guido thought I could probably write a programming language that wouldn't be that hard, would be fun actually, would be enjoyable to use. But let's not make it bad, let's not make it weak, let's make it both powerful and enjoyable. So that's why Python turns out to be such a perfect language to use as your first programming language. It's designed to be your first programming language, but it's also powerful. Okay, now let's talk about what motivation is needed to become a Python programmer. Well, the kind of gross motivation for professional programmers is to build something for everyone else to use. But that's generally not the first thing that you are going to do with your programming skills. You might be an accountant and want to write a code to do your repetitive daily tasks. Or you might be a lawyer and want to classify your client information to use them in a better way. You also might be a librarian and want to build a data center in your laptop to access the books more easily. Or even a marketing manager who tries to figure out which products sold better in a specific season. For previous cases, you don't have to be such a professional programmer just to write a code that you can use yourself. If it works and it gets you the data you want, then the job is done. If you want to be a professional programmer, then you kinda have to study how to be more precise and more engineering. Now let's see what sets Python apart from other programming languages. Python is free, simple, and easy to learn. Python language is incredibly easy to use and learn for new beginners and newcomers. Due to its ease of learning and usage, Python codes can be easily written and executed much faster than other programming languages. Here's an example. Let's make a pyramid with Python and Java. This is the code we use in Java, and this is how we do it in Python. See how short and clean the language is? And that's just the beginning. Python has a large open source community. If you have any technical issues, you can search among thousands of books, blogs, videos, and online communities, and I promise you will finally get the answer. Python language is efficient, reliable, and much faster than most modern languages, and it can be used in nearly any kind of environment. And you will not face any kind of performance loss, irrespective of the platform you are working on. Another advantage of Python is extensive libraries. Python libraries are a set of useful functions that eliminate the need for writing codes from scratch. In this video, I do not intend to explain Python libraries. I just want you to know that libraries can be used to reduce the time required to code. Python has a huge career opportunity because of its vast diversity. There are 5 major job opportunities in Python: marketing manager, data analysis, machine learning engineer, full stack developer, and software developer. Note that the use of Python is not limited to these cases, and you can get help from this programming language in any specialty. And you should know that the average Python developer's salary is $100,000 per year. If you think this video was helpful and could answer some of your questions, please support my hard work by liking and sharing with others. I have more Python tutorials on my channel. If you're interested, please subscribe to my channel and watch other tutorials. Thank you for watching this video.